You are a fish that's lived in the same river its whole entire life. You start to believe you don't deserve to live in a nicer river, like the one across. Across is Benjamin, the great fish. You think he's so amazing, but is he? You tell yourself you're bad. Not a bad person, but bad at everything you do. Every small side glory gives you disappears as fast as it comes. Snap, gone. You want more. You want to win. You want to be the best. Because without it, who are you? Now let me fish you back into reality. This is your river. Clean, calm, crystal clear. And this is Benjamin's river. To you, it looks better. But is it? This is the power of self deception. I step onto the fencing strip. The board beeps, the lights feel too bright, and my heart thunders. In that moment, I think to myself, without this win, without my last win, without my next win, who will I become? Now, I want you to question what if the loudest voice in your life isn't yours? Instead, it's the echo of all the stories you've ever believed. Not only the ones you hear, but the ones you tell yourself. You've heard this topic countless times by now, so why does it matter? What's the point? Well, my name's Samantha. I'm 15, a young athlete. But when I start to lose and start to give up, I feel like the shadow of who I once was. And I know this feeling isn't just mine. Countless people who train, perform, and show up each day are secretly facing the same opponent. The stories play in their head. Others doubt their work, students question their worth, and people worry they're not enough. We all carry a running commentary that judges, soothes, and sometimes lies. We tell ourselves these small, convenient lies because they protect the most fragile part of us. It's surprisingly common. Studies in cognitive psychology by Princeton University calls this self-deception, a short-term coping mechanism. However, over time, it can lead to avoidance, high stress, and poor performance. Because when we don't face the discomfort, we miss a chance to actually fix what's holding us back. In this day and age, we live in mirrors that aren't made of glass. They're made of social feeds and profiles and stories and reels. But they're not real. The algorithm shows certainty and shine. It barely shows the bruise behind the smile. But we're so surrounded by these mirrors that you start to believe them. You think, that's how I should look. That's how I should feel. If Benjamin posts a flawless picture, then maybe he is flawless, and maybe I'm not. But remember, the mirror is selective. It edits, it clips. It clips the practices where someone fell or the night they nearly quit. It never shows the long, awkward, invisible work. So when we compare our real lives to these edited reels, the stories in our head begin to twist and turn and morph into something cruel. You're not enough. You're behind. You are failing. I can still remember the first time I held a foil. I was small, clumsy, and frankly terrible. But I didn't care. I didn't care about medals or rankings. I fenced for the way it made me feel. That memory is not a trap. It's not a cue to run back in time either. Nostalgia. When it's honest, it reconnects you back to your original why. The part of you that loved this before you knew the scoreboard. But nostalgia can be dangerous if you use it as an escape. If you pretend the past is perfect, you avoid improving the present. So let nostalgia guide you rather than blind you, because remembering who you once were will help you choose who you want to become. So if lies, mirrors, and memories all shape the stories we tell ourselves, there's one final act we can take. We can choose. One night, exhausted and angry at myself, I sat down and asked a simple question. Which of these stories do I actually want to believe? I could keep believing I was defined by every loss, or I could see each loss as new information. I could let the algorithm decide my worth, or I could decide what success looks like for me. I could romanticize the past, or I could take its courage. That question, it didn't fix everything immediately, and it fixed everything the next night, but it shifted the fight. So here's what I want you to fish away. First, we tell ourselves stories. They feel real, but they're just constructions. Second, other people and algorithms feed us even more stories. Some help, some hurt. Third, we have the power to decide and rewrite the ones that limit us. And then choose. Choose the story that allows you to try again. Choose the story that gives you compassion for your own mistakes. Choose the story that says you're more than a result. You are a fish that's lived in the same ordinary river your whole entire life. Across, there's a shinier river and a fish named Benjamin. You look over and tell yourself stories. You tell yourself you're less. You tell yourself you don't belong. But take one more good look at your own water. It's clean, it's clear, it's carried you this far. You can stay or you can swim, or you can clean it to make it better. The choice is yours. I step back onto the fancy strip now. The board still beeps, the lights still feel too bright, and my heart still thunders. But when I breathe, the story I tell myself sounds different. I remember I have a pen. Which story are you going to write? Thank you.